What are we gonna get this time? Okay, position 1. Difficult, and it means I won't get access to Armand, most likely, and also Armand is not usually very good in position 1, so some problems there. Not really any Beast or Romber technologies that we can get in the first round. And yeah, Armand goes pretty quick. Especially given that there's good cards in the row. Low-cost cards. Spice Hunter's not that great. Space Travel and Shifting Allegiances are pretty good, though. The row is unexceptional, and I wouldn't really want to play Helena. Okay, so... This is kind of telling me it's a Ecaz game, Ilesa Ecaz game. The ordnance suggests Ilban. I guess we already have an Ilban game on the channel, so let's do her. Ice Beast playing the Beast, that's on brand. Combat is the... I always call this the second place combat because I feel like the second place combat reward is so good. We're going to consistently have access to this second if we want. But if we do that, we can't go smuggling, which is what I would prefer to do. I could put a faction card aside, go smuggling, get paid for... I think that's the best way of doing this. So... let me do this first. And then get Solari for using the Allies second. Yeah, Spice is more valuable than Solari, but if there's any time that I would want to get Solari, it would be the first round. And by going smuggling, we deny Beast a round 2 Swordmaster. Or at least an easy round 2 Swordmaster. Unfortunately, this means we're not going to play both of our faction cards, but that's okay. It's not like a huge priority in the first round. I think my preference would be still suits. Hardy Warriors committing like 2-ish troops would be fine as well. Helena only puts 1 in, so yeah, she also wants second place. I mean, if I get a point, I'm not going to be upset about it. This is kind of a funny combat because the second place reward is like better than the first place reward. People are constantly trying to jockey around in weird ways, which is what's happening here. And the fact that she went reconnaissance first action, to me, it's odd. To me, suggests that she probably doesn't have her signet ring. We should expect her to have her signet ring next round. So, we have no daggers in the end. The water is better for having a research station and great flat access next round. But we would lose a lot of troops. We know we won't have faction access next round, so maybe going great flight isn't that important. Do this. I'm sure somebody will go over top of us, and then we can get second, or if Helena has daggers, tied for third. Yeah, like Beast doesn't want to resist the urge to use the signet ring, I think. Armand probably stays out of this entirely. Kind of some weird moves from Helena. She must have had a really bad hand. Like, no faction access or signet ring by the looks of it, which means she probably has 2 daggers in hand. just by process of elimination. Or potentially some convincings. So we're actually going to get third here, which is fine. I wish I had maybe only put in one troop, but we really didn't know what was going to happen. And if we only had one troop in, Armand was tempted to come in over top of us. At this point, he's not going to do that, so... Better to put 2 troops in and get 2 Solari than put 1 troop in and get 0 Solari, I think. That's a really weird play from Armand, because, like, now he does trash a card, he went to tech negotiation and get a deck. Went to a faction space that isn't very good, most likely. Maybe he's got a good reveal. So, space travel or other memory. I think shifting allegiances could be better than both of them, actually. And this is a leader that makes a lot of spice. Both of them have 2 icons on it. There's no other BG cards out here. Let's see that. Still no BG cards. That might be the right play. Plus, I don't want somebody else stealing my alliances. The denial factor is almost as important. This is kind of cool. Maybe not necessary because we have so much. We have a lot of spice production on this leader anyway. But it only has 1 faction icon, and in the second half of the game, nobody's really clamoring for that space. Okay, well, it's gone. Armand gets to 5 persuasion. I don't think Chani is worth going to tech negotiation for, to be honest with you. Unless he... Oh, okay, he doesn't even get her. I would have done either voice, space travel, or just gone straight Chani. But you do you, man. Lana gets a second entry card. We get to 4 Solari. So now Conspire would get us there. It's just that we're not going to be able to Conspire. Let's put Dagger aside. Tech Negotiation will probably be available. And we can Mentat if it's not. We have the money for that. There's a small chance that they let me smuggle, but I think that, again, that chance is small. Beast definitely in the lead right now. Point from the combat already has interstellar access. This is a good combat to fight in, too. Armand's got the advantage there. Because he didn't spend any troops. What was Helena's hand anyway? Yeah, this is crap. This is terrible. So she's got 2 daggers now, her signet ring, and both of her access. Armand also has his signet ring, so don't count on anything in the row, basically, is my takeaway from that. Okay, yeah, I might get smuggling. I think Armand's going to take it, but we'll see. Oh shoot, okay. Rounds 2 Swordmaster, and I can use my dagger for it and get paid spice. This is awesome. I could even use my signet ring to go there. I think I would rather save the ability to go to cities. Like, we can always buy the this fold space later if we really want to. We'll have one more action afterwards, which can go to any non-faction space. I'm thinking maybe Great Flat. The row isn't good enough for me to want to go Research Station. Although, we would really like to get more spice out of that Great Flat. But having the spice now will mean that if we draw the Shifting Allegiances next round, that we can use it. And we're right ahead of Beast, so if we can get to 2 on Guild, that would be ideal. Good card. Does it justify Research Station? I still don't think so. Although everything we draw would have Persuasion. But we go down to 2. So we'd be drawing 3 cards. We have to hit 4 Persuasion. So, like, that's actually pretty likely. That's actually very likely. But I think with this Shifting Allegiances not going for spice is a really questionable decision. We'll see. Cards are bad, so having a Worm Riders would put us ahead. It would definitely pay us back the spice later. Definitely, we also want to get second place in this combat. 2 water is actually crazy. And if we want to do that, maybe we should. I mean, either of these are good. Like we get our water back for either action. I think because we have a chance of drawing into the Shifting Allegiances, and this will increase in value, that we should probably, for that reason, go Research Station. These don't provide super immediate benefits. The Training Drones does. What did... Oh, she actually took the Recruiter. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Nobody's getting very good cards. These are okay. Like, even Armand doesn't really have anything crazy. He has the Voice and the Shifting Allegiances. Oh, we don't want to buy that fold space yet. Hold up. We need to draw and shuffle before we draw the fold space. So deploy 1. Draw. We get to Worm Riders. We buy the fold space. There we go. Beast didn't have 6, but we did have 5. Which I wasn't expecting. And that gives him the ability to hostage the Great Flat, which I wasn't expecting him to be able to do. But we'll move before him. So yeah, we take the Worm Riders for sure here. Feeds into my other card. Get an easy 2 water from the combat. So far, this is going fantastic. Interesting. Well, I think we want to do Shifting Allegiances first action, which means second action is probably Reconnaissance or Diplomacy. Allegiances here is great. Maybe we should have... Well, no, Beast is going to get Interstellar before us, even if we get the access. But then the next 2 rounds we'll have Interstellar, probably uncontested. What are you buying, Armand? Training drones? I don't think Shamirki this early is actually good. Like, spending 4 spice for that is kind of risky. A lot of 4-costers. Spy Satellites, too, is a really interesting one. This early, you can actually plan around it. But, unfortunately, I don't know what my alternative, like, point engine is going to be, though. Could also try to plan around getting, like, High Council and Restricted Ordnance, but that's very expensive. Down Fremen, up Guild. You want the tech. Oh, he's getting training drones. Yeah, that's pretty damn good on Beast. That is pretty damn good on Beast. Probably go Arakeen. Disposal. I actually quite like that. Unfortunately, I don't really have the ability to get tech this round. But next round, I mean, round 4 is not too late, I don't think, for that tech. Although it doesn't really play into the Spy Satellite strategy. Well, we have a Shifting Allegiances, so we probably shouldn't go for Spy Satellites, although Shifting Allegiances would allow us to maximize Spy Satellites by staying at 0 on some factions and 4 on others. A lot to think about. We probably aren't going to get that Siege Reverend Mother. We'll be revealing last. Because we're going to have a Swordmaster and nobody else is. For 2 rounds. Nobody's going to get a Swordmaster till round 4. And usually that means we win. Usually. So Arakeen or Karthag? If we play 2 of our cards, we go to 3 Persuasion. That's still a space travel, so I don't feel too bad about that. The space travel does work well with Mrs. Ecaz. So let's go for the intrigue. Is a troop worth a spice? Because we assume Beast is probably going in, so I'm going to say no, it's not. Although actually, let's put the troop in. We have a combat card. That's going to make Beast want to commit more. But it is what it is. He needs to put 3 troops in to prevent us from taking it. We also need to play our diplomacy so that we actually have faction bumps that we can use for the shifting allegiances. Even though I want to go to smuggling so that I can use interstellar shipping immediately. We just need the faction bump, I think. Although we can get a faction bump from the track. Well, I guess it depends on what faction we go to, right? If we go to Emperor, it sets us up for High Council, potentially. And more Mentat usage. If we go to Secrets, that doesn't really do anything necessarily besides set us up for later. Possibly wins us the combat. We don't have 2 influence with Fremen, so going to Selective Breeding seems like a mistake, because There's 2 cards that we actively don't want to draw in this hand. So I think Secrets or Wealth are our options. I guess we could go Conspire. Refills our empty garrison. That gets us to a quick High Council seat. And since Spy Satellites is out, that is useful. Although I think I would rather use the Spice on Tex and also Shifting Allegiances. Yeah, Reverend Mother goes. That's not a surprise. You do have Fremen. You have quite a bit of Fremen, so you're going to get good value out of that. Well, I'm not sure what to do here. The row is still not good, and I think maybe that's a factor on why we shouldn't conspire. It would put us to the most troops on the start of the next combat, though. And the Intrigue card could make a difference. We're not going to draw Shifting Allegiances next round. We'll eventually use all that Solari. Okay. Doesn't help us with the combat, but it's still a really good card. You could play Master Tactician for a water, but I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, Haga Basin will accumulate some spice, but I don't know how necessary that really is. Oh, man. My space travel. I can take him. He's fine, too. We might have a little bit more... shoot. We might have a little bit more of the yellow access than I need. Interesting. Well, that's 2 combat points for Armand now. That's actually pretty scary. Especially if he goes Spy Satellites. We should probably look to prevent him from having that. Still, though, he's not getting his Swordmaster online until at least round 4, and probably not round 5. So, that's at least a good sign. Dagger again. We're going to take it to High Council, most likely. I guess he's going the Conspire route. I think I do this so that I can still have access to cities. So, advance, advance. We can also Mentat, which I think I might like a little bit better, given the 2 cards in our deck are Fold Space Worm Riders, cards that we really want. Those training drones are really going to be good for Beast. Actually, really good. Normally, it's kind of a so-so tech, but it's going to pay off here for sure. We can take Dagger to Tech Negotiation, use the Spice to grab the Ordnance. Which I think is better than the Satellites here. The Ordnance actually gives us something immediately. Melina gets there, but she's a little late. She won't see that space for several rounds. But I guess that card couldn't go anywhere else. Yeah, Herta revealed quite a bit by doing that. She threw away... Well, actually, discarding a freighter fleet is kind of cool. She only lost 1 persuasion. That's kind of a cool card. We could go to Dreadnought with our dagger, buy a Dreadnought, and also buy the disposal facility, which I kind of like. But I don't know that we have enough like super high impact cards for disposal facility to really be doing all that much for us. Like draw Worm Rider slightly more often is not that amazing. Wow. He's having such a good game. Cool. I have to play this because we don't have any Fremen influence. Ooh, early reveal. Double convincings. Yeah, I don't know, man. You dropped cards that had access. You know, you could have kept that dude, gone to smuggling. I feel like that would have been a lot better for you. Like, was double liaisons really worth it? I don't think so. Trash and convincing means he's going to have weaker late game persuasion. But he already has a bunch of liaisons, so maybe not. He didn't get the Legion. He didn't buy anything at all. I would have bought the Sardaukar Legion for sure. So we have two uninterrupted actions. I think one of them should be Worm Riders. Just keep getting that spice. And have the spice for the tech that we need. And actually, Beast can retreat troops out now because of Chani. That's really cool. Problem is, if we go to either a tech space or to High Council, we don't get to deploy the combat. He didn't retreat troops. That's not what I would have done. So Dagger here takes us to 5, and we could grab a carry-all, although we would have really preferred to have the Sardaukar guy. Or we could just immediately go here and grab those spy satellites. Go to 4 persuasion. 4 persuasion doesn't do anything, though. Just go ahead and take our seat. Beast is going to end up like, 3 points ahead of us, so we need to make sure he doesn't just roll the game right now. I think he made a big mistake not retreating. Yeah, you've got training drones, but still, I mean, you could have had like 3 troops in your garrison right now, and now me and Helena outnumber you. This is tricky. We don't have any water, so the carry-all's not that good. First action will be shifting allegiances to Interstellar, so what's the second action? Probably something with the dagger. Nobody else wants this. So let's take the spy satellites now. We go down 1 with Emperor, I think. Up 2 with what? Who? BG or Fremen? Let's go up with Fremen. Let's try to chase Beast. Get another bump. Go up with Fremen again. Cool. Now we have the biggest garrison and the most actions. It's round 5, and we have a Swordmaster and nobody else does. So the only way that we lose this, I see, is if Beast or Armand just rush the game. Armand, I think, has to scale. He has to make the game go long. But Beast needs the game to go short. So when we grab the spy satellites, we revealed film, which works well with spy satellites, and ordnance, which works well with spy satellites. We already have a High Council seat. Both of those are fantastic. But because the Beast's path to victory probably lies in combat, I think the Ordnance is better. If we just take Spice Must Flows and don't actually contest him on the combats, we're more likely to lose. Right now, Satellites is giving me 2 points. That's kind of where I want to keep it. I want to make sure I have the alliances of Fremen and Guild, I think. And then have nothing on the other factions. This carry-all may just end up being reveal for a spice, which is not that impressive. We probably need to go focus on picking up some water. And since Fremen is someplace we want to go anyway, I think Fold Space to Still Suits is a high priority action if we can get there. Carthag. Okay, so it looks like Petros resigned because his situation was so bad. Probably the early reveal is what did it to him. Helena's kind of been out of the game for a while, in my opinion. The problem is that he picked her with a row that sucked. You just kind of don't want to play Helena if the cards aren't good. Okay, well now we have the Mintet option because of that. Imperial Basin pays Armand quite a bit of spice. Conscripts the Chome delegate, but he has no guild influence, so I don't feel bad about that at all. And yeah, we definitely want tech. I think ordnance is our highest priority. Holtzman works really well with spy satellites. The way spy satellites works is it's the most difficult tech to use in the game, and I think it's not even close. You basically need other alternative victory conditions for this to make sense, because just trying to win without faction alliances, I think, is generally not going to happen. So you need something else. You need a big combat role, or you need a Holtzman engine, or you need a Mimic. You need some other way to get points consistently. Spice Must Flows seem like the regular way to do that, but yeah, it just depends. So it's looking like Still Suits will still be available to me. The Fold Space will draw me a card, and I never even once went to Fold Space. This is just the Fold Space that I got from playing Mrs. Ecaz here. Ilesa Ecaz, I think is how you're supposed to say it. we're gonna have to wait for Helena to drop out, basically. I do wonder if it's worth taking Carry All or a different yellow card if I draw it off of Fold Space, which is quite likely, to Smuggling, because there's so many techs that I want. Like, getting to here next round, I say that. My shipping days are probably over for the game. I don't know. The space isn't that valuable in the late game, and there's a possibility that Beast doesn't actually value it at this point anymore. He's gone to round 6 without getting a Swordmaster, so he's not had the actions to actually take advantage of his good position on that. If you need to resign this game, you can just resign. You know, there's a button. You don't have to like go AFK, but it's fine. He'll be kicked. There you go. So Swordmaster for Helena. So the second Swordmaster of the game going in round 5 is crazy. High Council for Armand. Still Suits. We drew Convincing, which is not great. Get double water. Make Beast sweat a little bit. So Helena's at 9. It doesn't take much to win this. Like, if I go to here, I tire. Here plus Tactician wins. So let's do that. And that leaves as much beef in my garrison as like possible for later. 5, does he get the... He does? Not bad. Not good, but not bad. If we lose the race for the Fremen Alliance, we can always just dump the bumps. But I don't think we're going to lose it. We're already tied with them, and are... Oh no, it's not in our deck. Well, we're closer to this than anyone else is. Trashes a Dune. Picks up the card I wanted. Power Play is good, though. Just Helena will probably have it. I don't know what's in her deck, though. So maybe not. She's trashed out both of her daggers. Oh, no, we're revealing now. Yeah, we'll just get it. Power Play is really weird with Spy Satellites, though. I mean, it does kind of ensure that we're going to get the Fremen Alliance. This is not a deck building game. This is a tech game. Definitely we want a Tactician here. 3 daggers for the Mentat is definitely worth it. Okay. Well. Didn't think that his one card would be a combat card, but that's okay. Second place is not awful. And it does replace our combat card. It's kind of annoying. I really wanted to see point combats at this juncture. Like, I can trash the Spy Satellites, but it's not what I want. Probably, shoot. This is not a good hand. We can't draw to Mentat. Not bad. Not really good for our strategy, though. Yeah, so he plays defense, which I don't mind. I've got a power play and a shifting allegiances. It's going to be hard for him to keep that. And if he's doing that, he's not going up on, like, say, Emperor or BG, which would be other ways for him to score points. Round 6 guild bank rate is really sad. And I don't know if Helena will even go Interstellar, so we may end up getting Interstellar. We don't care about the daggers from Worm Riders in this combat, honestly, so I think we should consider using the Worm Riders up here for the spice. No, Helena does go Interstellar. Okay. What are you blocking? The space that you already went to? Kind of weird. Maybe it's to block Beast? Because I already went there too. Yeah, that's strange. Well, I don't really want to do any of this stuff. I guess Worm Riders to Research Station. Get our first troop in. Just threaten with the ordnance. Seems like blocking Swordmaster would have been a lot smarter. You get Holtzman? You do. Okay. It's a little bit late for that, especially when you have no... You don't have any Spicemas flows. Speaking of Spicemas flows, we'll get one this round. Do we buy a... I think we do buy a Dreadnought. We get one of our Solari back. Buy a Fold Space. Buy Mimic Film. Holtzman would have been much, much better, but it is what it is. Now we have a flagship available. We need a faction bump that we can burn for the shifting allegiances. Okay, so he locks that in. He's got it. So now we have a faction bump we can burn for shifting allegiances, no problem. I don't think you actually want to fight for this combat. Okay, sweet, yeah. Throw in a ton of troops. I don't care. Doesn't stop Helena from going High Council by any means. Okay, so actually Armand does get a Spicemas flow this round, so the Holtzman is actually going to end up making a ton of sense for him. He's got Chimerki, so we need to be a little scared of him. Honestly, I'm thinking that maybe we just go smuggling. Problem is, if we go smuggling, there's nothing we can really trash. But we can trash from our discard pile. Trash out like a dagger. It's a little late for firm grip, honestly. This AI is playing Helena better than Helena was. Silver is very good, but Spice and Slow is better. Especially when you have Spy Satellites. I do hate to throw that into my deck, but whatever. You got rid of a dagger, so it's not making it worse. We're just trading out one crap card for another. We're getting 3 free persuasion on reveal. No, I don't care to fight him. Who cares? I'll spend 1 troop for 4 Solari. Why not? Combine the Dreadnought if I need to. Okay, kind of awkward. Honestly, we probably play full space second action. But I hate to put it away. This is not even that good of a combat. We don't have the Firmament Alliance, but 4 daggers guaranteed is pretty good too. Yeah, this is a bad hand. We just don't even have a lot of persuasion in it. I think our tech preference is flagship. Definitely flagship. I really just want to draw cards. I guess this is Full Space Mentat. And that helps. A little bit. Full Space is kind of bailing us out here. Still no power play or shifting allegiances, which is what I actually want. That's not great. Drew that immediately. It's too late for Quizots. I don't even know how much we want to win this combat. Besides just wanting no one else to have it. We get Interstellar next round. Spaceport's junk. This thing's good though. Putting in a Dreadnought and like a troop. Just scares them. And hey, I'm never going to say no to this first place reward. It's not. It doesn't require a lot of investment from me. I want to keep the Dreadnought as the issue. Don't want to see that at all. Not common to see all 4 players get High Council before everybody has their Swordmasters. The problem is if Elena gets this, she probably takes the Guild Alliance. No. If she's smart, she takes the Emperor Alliance. We'll have access to Siege Tabor though, which is good. We need the water for sure. We can't afford any tech that we would want, so I don't know that we want to buy a Dread. Next turn we'll have access to Highliner. Probably. I think it's guaranteed, actually. So Armand is at 8. We're only at 6. Well, Beast Shaver. This will hop us back ahead of Helena. Actually, let's put in 2. That way we can use the staged incident. Point for Beast. Not great. There's nowhere that I can go that will not cost me the Spice Mist Flow, so I think I have to reveal early. Okay, we're at 7 now. Still a point behind Ecaz. This is a point, but I don't know if we want to... This is kind of a point, too. I think second place is fine. We just cross our fingers that Helena's AI doesn't take guild. We're also probably going to draw this Spice Must Flow next round. So Helena passes. So let's think about this. If we stage incident, obviously we don't get the point. But we will get access to Highliner early. Though we probably have that anyway. But it helps us get to Highliner or Flagship, right? If we win it, we take the Guild Alliance. And we can use, well, or we can take one of these and then go up with Power Play and it ends up netting us a point. It depends on, will I have the space to use this next round? I should just go ahead and use it. We could, I mean, honestly, we could Private Army and still win. It takes me down to 3 spice. If I cash out 2, I still don't get there. No, I don't think we do it. Cool, yeah. Helena takes Emperor, which is the correct play for her, too. And we also keep our Dreadnought, which is pretty important. This should be the last round. No Power Play. Nobody else can get the Highliner, so Shifting Allegiances first. Kill them in second, we'll say. I don't think he goes to Interstellar. There's a point to be had in Flagship, and we can actually spend it, so that's better than Highliner, I think. Okay, well, I don't get a choice. A little annoying. So, same thing, but smuggling is not the worst thing in the world. Down with Fremen. Take Guild Alliance. More troops. Up with a faction. Don't know that it matters. I guess BG. We could power play to it. We don't really have any cards that let us deploy troops. I mean, we do, but no, we don't have cities, which is what we're really looking for here. No water means we can't get to Hardy Warriors. I want to have 2 spice, so it's like I have 5 to spend. Actually, the play is Mentat. You run the risk of the combat spaces going away, though. It's going to be hard for me to lose this combat. If I go buy the flagship, I think that's better. I think that's better than... it kind of prevents me from using power play, though. Well, nobody's really gonna rush me to that. So grab Mentat, Persuasion, put Spice Must Flow on the table. We'd really like the Worm Riders. Tech Negotiation. Can't access that space anymore anyway. But it tells us he's getting a Spice Must Flow. Conspire. We should be able to clear this combat easily. The problem is there's literally only 2 spaces on the board that we can deploy from. But if one of them's Highliner, what does it matter? Sure, we're wasting the power play by going there to Highliner. But maybe not. I mean, you never know who might try to steal this. Trash your... It's not what I would have done. Well, maybe I would have. I don't know. Okay, so... These guys can't possibly go to Highliner. This play is not contested. There's 3 city cards in here. It'd be hard not to draw a city card if I went to selective breeding. Beast goes to 8. Might have himself a little bit of combat magic. That being said, I think we have this combat on lockdown, so maybe Highliner is just excessive. Well, we can only access factions now, so power play to selective breeding. I don't know that even accomplishes anything. We're already getting a Spice Must Flow anyway, so if we win the combat, there's no question about the end game. I think we have this wrapped up. I don't think it's going to even really end up being close. Scariel didn't do anything for us. So, yeah, so Beast gets to 9. Armand is at 9 as well. He's got 2 intrigue cards. And he wins a tiebreaker, but they'd have to be pretty damn good intrigue cards. I can't think of any besides the tech one that he could have. And that only gets him to 10, and we're ahead of that. Spice must flow 8, combat is 10. Spy satellites is 11, 12. Her economy is so crazy. Like, look, this is what I'm ending the game with. Didn't get his war chest off. Yep, there we go. Not super close. Yeah, so there we go. There's an Ilesa Ecaz game for you guys. And yeah, what's her whole deal? Well, she really likes extra points. I mean, everybody likes extra points, but particularly tech ones. I think she's the most tech build-around leader we have in the game. Yeah, even more than Romber, just because her consistent amount of spice. Like, Romber gets 1 spice per deck shuffle and slightly favorable purchases, but Ilesa gets probably 1 spice per round, which is almost twice as often. You end up getting a little bit less than that. You know, this game I probably ended up getting 5 spice. I think I got 2 Solari, 1 miss, and so there were other 5 were spice, I think is what happened. That's a lot of spice. Yeah, so she likes extra points from other sources, which means that she's a natural fit for spy satellites. And it was just absolute gold that they let me have the double smuggling, get my Swordmaster online round 2. Online, like 3 rounds before anybody else had a Swordmaster. It's just going to be hard to compete against that. Yeah, and I think it was interesting, the idea of like the shifting allegiances instead of the other memory. I think that ended up paying us off. The shifting allegiances was really good with the spy satellites, although I say that, I don't know that the shifting allegiances actually did anything for me. It's not, like, I'm not getting the Fremen alliance, and the power play meant that I had the guild alliance completely locked up. But what actually mattered for it, it did matter, and the reason that I'm thinking about it now, the reason that it did matter is that the shifting allegiances on round 3, down with Fremen, up with 2 with guild, meant that I had 2 rounds of uninterrupted shipping access, and that's shipping access that would have gone to the 2nd place player, or the 3rd place player here, Beast Rabban, Mr. Beast. And if he had gotten those shipping turns instead, he probably would have won the game. So I do think the shifting allegiances were a big deal here. And yeah, like, Worm Riders helped too. But if you look at our deck, like, there's nothing here that really, like, carried us by any means. The power pellet play was good. The Worm Riders was good on the margin. And the shifting allegiances ended up being the powerhouse card. Spy satellites too. But yeah, that's the game.